Okay, here we are, Starbucks with Suman. When was your first race?
My first race was 2007 November, but that was my first 5K. I finished 30 minutes. That was the last time I ever finished 30 minutes in 5.
What's your next race?
I'm headed to Tokyo. I was born and raised in Kathmandu, so I always had this dream to go to Tokyo. But never in a million years I thought that I would go to Tokyo to run a marathon. So my race is in February 27, 2011. I'm very excited. So I'm training for it right now.
What's the thing you're going to worry about with an overseas race?
Probably a jet lag. That's the only thing I'm worried. But usually it takes me two days to get over jet lag when I go that way. 1 to 2 days. So I will be there Thursday. The race is not till Sunday, so I'm hoping that I will be over with the jet lag by the time I start the race. I do train in the evenings, so it's a 15 hours difference, but I do say it's only 3 hours. It's morning. If it's morning, 9 o'clock here is 3 hours from there in the evening, so it's about 15 hours difference.
As far as your running goes, what do you think your greatest strength is?
Probably this speed. About mile 20 I start break, but I have been able to push pretty hard pace till mile 20. So I'm hoping that I can take it all the way to the end.
What do you have to work on the most? The speed's your strength?
Probably the speed after mile 20. That's probably is my weakness. Last marathon I did, that was this ultra marathon where I had a PR. I was able to push it all the way to mile 22. So I'm hoping that the next mile 24 or then 26 all the way.
So what are your plans longer term, say the next 5-10 years? What do you want to do from a running perspective?
For sure I would like to go to Boston at least once, but other than that I would like to run as much marathon as possible, go around the country, around the world, meet my friends and families, and run marathons, and then be just like I'm doing Tokyo. I'm going Tokyo. I didn't pick Tokyo randomly because I have a childhood friend, Rajendra. He moved to Tokyo and we kind of separated for years, and I promised him that if I ever get in Tokyo, I will come to Tokyo and run it. So that's why I'm going to Tokyo.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Is the family going with you?
No, not this time.
No?
Usually my family travels with me, going places. Chicago and Tokyo, those are two races I cannot take them because it's the middle of the school years and a busy season for my wife. So usually we like to travel together, and they get to go to see places, and I get to run.
What's the course looking like?
Course is in Tokyo. The course is pretty flat, relatively flat. They will run you through the middle of Tokyo. They will a lot of Tokyo street running. Not much of scenery, but through a lot of buildings. The weather is kind of similar weather what we have right now in Birmingham, 30s, 50s, 30 minimum 50s. Last couple of years I have heard that it rains during that time, and the rain is cold. I watched a video from last year and it was cold rain.
And how many people do they expect for that marathon?
This marathon is a lottery based. Last year stat I looked at it, about 300,000 people applied, 30,000 people got in. So I don't know for this year's stat, but I'm pretty much sure. This is Asia's biggest marathon. So this is pretty new, relatively new, but it's catching up with New York and Chicago.
And is it a full, is it a loop, or is it just start to finish 26?
It's one, starts at one end and finishes at the other end. It's not a
And how many of those have you ran before? It's like in that same style that started and finished in a different spot?
Probably New York City Marathon is probably the one I ran where I started in one place, Staten Island, finished at Central Park.
Do you prefer that course or versus like a loop?
It depends.
Depends.
Like point to point, loop, start to finish, it all different.
Good luck.
Thank you.